Hello there, I'm Dave Allen, I'm Good and Geeky, and we're looking at Affinity Designer, and I'm going to use some shape making tools here to create a bit of a pattern, and I want to show you how you can use some of these various tools that we got. Let's dive in there now. So what I want to do is make some sort of design, something like this here, and we're going to use various tools available to us in Affinity Designer. When you're making shapes, it's a good idea perhaps to put some guides in there to help you get started. And what we're going to do first of all is I'm going to put a rectangle in the middle of this. And I'm going to start in the middle there, so you've got the red and the green there, so I can use the shift and the command key and come out from the centre. We do have a couple of different ways of doing this, so let's get started. We can use the corner tool, but another way to do this would be actually to use a set of circles. So let's get some circles in here. And I'm going to make this circle coming from the centre. Let's put it in a different colour so we can see it a bit better. Okay, so now we've got a circle there. And what we want to do is we want to put it up on this corner up here. So let's grab this and move it. Use the move tool, and I want to put it there so it's properly in the corner. So again, we're using the red and the green line there to show that it's centered up in the corner, and that's just lovely. And what I can do then is I can make it a bit bigger. So I can come out with this here. Hold down the shift and the command key again there, so it's coming out from the centre, and I can bring this out so it comes, quite close to this centre lines here of the square, or I can leave it so that there's a bit left in there. So let's leave it like that. And what we could do then is we can then duplicate that. So do Command and J, and I'm going to grab that and move it across. Hold down the shift key and bring it so that it lines up again on that side over there. Then I'm going to do the same again with the coming downwards, so do Command and J. Let's bring this down here. Hold down the shift key so I'll get it just right. And I want that so that it centres up there. So I've got the red line along the bottom there, so I know that's all centred up. So then what I can do is I can select all four of these circles, do it over here in the Layers panel. Start with the top one there, hold down the shift key, come down to the bottom. And then the bit I want to cut out from is this one here. So let's go to the rectangle there and select that. And I'm going to use the subtract tool here from the tool here, and I've got the shape there. So that's kind of nice. So that's one way of doing it. Let's do this Command Z. And perhaps an easier way to do this would be to use the corners tool. So I've got the corners tool there, look. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of those corners there by doing a marquee select around those there. And I'm going to bring this in, and you can see that the corner is actually sort of the wrong way around from the way we want it. So I'm going to change it to something else. Let's go back to the corners tool, and I'm going to select this concave curve. So I've ended up with what I had before, but it was a little bit easier. No more messing about with using the compound shapes tool, and all I need to do now is to still just bring these in there. They're all selected, so they're all coming in at the same time. You can do one corner at a time if you want to, but let's say we want it about there. What about if we want to put some more sort of cut some more shapes into this here? Okay, so let's go and choose some sort of design here. Let's go for let's try the cog tool. So I'm going to start sort of somewhere around about here, and I'm going to hold down the shift and the command key at the same time. And I'm going to bring it so that it cuts into that there. Let's see, how can I get this so that it lines up? Okay, one way to do this would be to line it up so I've got the same both sides here. So I'm going to do Command and J, and I'm going to bring this one across here using the shift key and bring it down so it's somewhere about sort of the right gap in between. And then I'm going to select that other one there, and I'm going to group them. Do Command and J so they're grouped. So I've got the two cogs grouped, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to align that to the original shape and use the alignment tools to do that. Well, actually I've got an extra one in there. Didn't want the extra one there, but that doesn't matter. We can get rid of that. Where did that extra one come from? It's very good. Let's delete it. And I've still got that one in the middle. I don't know how I managed to do that, but still it doesn't really matter. Let's get rid of that. And now I've got kind of what I want there to cut into this section here with these two cogs. What I can do then is I can use that as a cookie cutter, and I'm going to do a Command J first of all. So let's do Command J, bring this down. So I'm doing this by eye, but obviously you could measure it up and use the alignment tools if you wanted to. So I'll select all 4 of those cogs, then I'm going to select the purple bit there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the subtract, and I've cut into it and made a nice little shape in there. That's lovely. Okay, so what about having some sort of bits of circles in the middle there? Let's get the circle tool, and I'm going to start in the middle here. See, I've got my red line and my green line, so that I'm starting in the centre. Hold down the shift and the command key, and I'm going to bring this out. Well, there's 2 ways of doing this. I've got those 2 things selected. I could use this here. Let's subtract that, and that will cut the centre out of that there. Let's do something else. Let's go back into this here, and we're going to we'll use the cog tool again. And this time we're going to start from the centre, and I'm coming out, shift and command key at the same time. Bring this out here, and then what I want to do is I want to have a bit of a shape here. Let's change the number of teeth in that there, so they've got more teeth in it. So let's do that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the stroke on it. So let's make a nice little stroke on there. So a stroke of about that much is good. Expand the stroke. Expand stroke. Nice. Then what I can do is I can use that stroke there to cut into this purple shape. So I'm going to go back to my move tool again. Select the purple shape now, and then I'm going to do a merge curves. A bit like using the subtract tool we used before, but just does it in a different way. So we've got some shapes going on there. Lovely. Let's put this shape that we had around this outside of it, this circle. So let's go back to the circle tool again, and I'm going to start in the centre again, and I'm going to hold down the shift and command key again, and I'm going to bring this out, and let's bring it out to around about there. That'll do fine. So I want to cut into this circle with this shape that I've got here. If I take this shape here, and I need to put it above the circle I've just put in there, the ellipse that I've just put in there, put a outline on this here, a line to the outside. Change these colours around so I can see what's going on a little bit better. I just want the outline around this outside here. Break these curves apart. So let's go back to the layer, and I'm going to separate curves. I'm just going to call that the outer shape at the moment, just so I can be able to find it a bit easier. And there's my ellipse there. Okay, so let's do this then. I'm going to do a expand stroke. So that's my stroke expanded. Okay, so I want to take that, and I want to cut into this circle here. So I'm going to shift, and then I'm going to select that circle there, and then I'm going to use the cookie cutter tool. So I've got these sort of shapes here that I wanted, but I've lost bits at the top there. Doesn't matter, we can put those back in again. Now what I want to do is I want to put this back together again. So let's get this here, select all of those there, select this bit in the middle, and then I'm going to do a layer, and I'm going to merge curves. Okay, so that's curves merged. I've got those back together again. That's cool. Except I've got all those sort of put together. I've got one kind of like one curve there, I think. You have to watch how this thing's going sometimes. It doesn't do quite exactly what you expect it to do still. Okay, but we've still got a nice pattern going there anyway, so that's all right. Okay, that's looking better now. I'm going to do a break apart again. So go to layer, and I'm going to tell it to go into geometry and tell it to separate curves. Because what I actually want is I want these ones on the outside here. This one, and this one here, and this one over here. I want that to be one shape. Okay, so I'm going to merge those together. Let's go to create compound. That should do it. Let's put some colour inside it. Let's put a yellow in there. There we go. That's cool. Don't want any stroke on that one there, so let's just remove it. Okay, so we've got yellow shapes around there now. So we'll select the main shape in the middle again and start dealing with that and putting it back together again. And I'm going to select this bit here. So I've got those two selected. And I'm going to go to the layer here again and tell it to create compound again. So I've got that nice bit of red there. Let's select this one, let's select this one. And I'm going to merge those together to create one single shape out of there. So I'm going to go to geometry and merge curves. Okay, now we're getting there, aren't we? We're getting some sort of nice sort of shapes happening there. That one there maybe. And that one there. And I'm going to do those together. So layer and create compound. Okay, so I've got some nice patterns going in there now. So what about these things that I had sticking out before? Let's make some shapes there. I'm going to use the rectangle tool to do this here. And I'm going to start about here, bring it to about there. That's nicely lined up there because of the way that I drew the shape, that it's on that line there, using the guidelines to get it in the right place. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the corner tool on this here, and I'm going to select these two corners first of all, bring those in, and then I'm going to turn it around to make it, put the corner tool again, and I'm going to change it to the concave again. And then I'm going to do the same with this over on the other side here because I want to split that up there. So let's bring that in, go for the concave again. Okay, now we're getting there. Okay, so let's go to the node tool and let's go to circle tool there, bake appearance. Then I can go to the node tool, and what I want to do with this here is I want to bring this down and I want to make this a bit more pointed. So I want to just get this here, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to bring that in to about there. And I could do something similar with this here as well if I want to. So hold down the shift key, bring that in, and then I think what I'll do is I'll just delete them once I've got them in place. Okay, so that's kind of a bit of the shape that I want there. I'm going to get those two nodes there, and I'm going to bring those this way. Just get some sort of nice patterns going there. And I think I'll delete those as well. Okay, that's a nice sort of shape there, I like it. Now what I want to do is I want to cut it into this shape here, with this here, so I get a bit of a gap in between. And the easiest way to do that is to put a stroke onto it. So let's go to the stroke tool, and we're going to get the sort of size of stroke that we want, which is probably about that much, shall we say. Going to hold down the shift key, bring it across. Okay, so I've got that going across there, put it approximately where I think it should be, and then I'm going to flip it around the other way. So what I'll do is to do a Command and J, so I've got those duplicated, and then I'm going to turn it around so that they go to the top and bottom there. So let's get this turn tool here, hold down the shift key while I'm doing it, and those are just perfect now. Lovely. Now what I want to do is I want to use this outside purple bit to cut into this bit here, so I've got a gap in between the two of them. So let's do that now. And I'm going to use the cookie cutter tool up here to be able to do that. Go to the move tool, then I'm going to select this red bit here. So I'm going to do the shift key and select that. Then I'm going to do the cookie cutter. Kind of what I was looking for, except I've got this bit of red in the middle there I don't actually want, but still. So I'm going to get these nodes here, these three at the top, and I'm going to delete those. Then I'm going to go down here. I've got those three nodes there and delete those. Lovely, that's what I wanted. So there you go, that's how you can make sort of fancy sort of shapes, complex sort of shapes by sort of grouping them together and basically sort of using the various tools that we have available in Affinity Designer. Hope you've learned something from this. Subscribe to the channel now. Bye bye now.